What is up, guys? It's Andrews here from Reality Gaming, and you've clicked this video because you are looking for a Milsim unit and you want to know the best way to do that, and you want to avoid all the pitfalls that come across new members to the Arma community. So let me just start by saying, guys, this is a great time to join a Milsim unit with the Contact DLC that's just been released and Arma 4 on the horizon. There's just not a better time to get involved. Tactical realism communities, guys. Now this is something you're going to be looking into, as well as Milsim units. And just very quickly, I'm going to go through the two differences. On the screen at the moment is the Wikipedia definition of Milsim, which I'll let you read. And once you've got a clarification of what that is, it's just going to be a lot easier to move forward. So tactical realism or Milsim. Tactical realism. You're going to have a casual experience. It's going to be open and diverse to the public, with some random guys turning up from time to time, people you don't know. It works with your needs and the public's needs. So it's basically a community designed to get as many people in playing as possible, and very little structure or chain of command. So none of this yes, no, sir stuff. And also it'll be a bit looser in terms of moving around and who you're answering to. And then what's Milsim? Well, Milsim requires more dedication and maturity, less freedom to do what you want. It's usually a private community which requires a sign up, and there is a chain of command. So you have to follow orders and do as you're told a bit more. How do you go about picking the best unit for you as a bit of a noob? And what do you do? Well, things to take into account, guys, before you choose a Milsim unit or a community to be a part of are firstly the size. Depending on what you want your role to be, the size of the unit is very important. If you want to come in and lead, you want to go for something that's slightly smaller. If you want to come in and you want to work your way up in lead, you want to go on something a bit larger. Usually it takes a couple of years within an actual unit online to get into a squad leader position, or to be in a position of authority or working with the people that are running the community. Just turning up and expecting to do that is not going to happen. So I'd either suggest you join a tactical realism team where you can perhaps be a commander without any experience, or if you want to go for a Milsim unit, come into the unit with some real world experience or some life leadership skills. What else are the factors for you choosing this unit? Well, let's just say real world or fictitious. What does that mean? Well, some units, like the units that's shown here, 72nd Airborne Division. I'm not sure if that's a real airborne division in the United States, but it's based on a real world unit. And then the Wrecking Crew, which is number 2 here, is not. So it's just a generalized name, and they probably do all sorts of things, but they're UK based, so they're using UK skins. Black Legion here, for example, is a clan for some mod in the game, looks like Star Wars or something. So that's how you kind of gauge what you're getting yourself into, real world or fictitious. The next thing to consider is your time zone. Where are you based? You really want to have a unit that's based in the same time zone as you. I know when I was much younger, I was part of a lot of US teams because of my sleep schedule, and I know that I've had lots of people that have been part of RG from the States and all over the world that have different time zones, but it's really based on what their time zone is, whether they're sleeping late, up all night. But this is very few and far between. If you want to function properly, just pick a unit in your general time zone. So if you're in the States, you go for an American unit. If you're in the UK, you go for a UK unit, etc., etc. Europe, etc., etc. So once again, I'm showing you a site here which is clanlist.com, and I really wouldn't suggest going this to begin with. This is just an example of some of the units. It's far too easy to join a unit like this, guys. Nice big banners, paid for promotions, lots of members, clicking to vote every day. Purely benefits this site. Reality Gaming, I think, advertised here 4 or 5 years ago when we were very small, just to get some initial members, but the caliber of members that come through this type of site is very poor. It's really just because people are just clicking Arma 3 clans, looking for a team and want to get involved with something a bit casual. So this really should just be all the casual units here. Right, what is Milsim has been covered. What clan do you want, where you're based, and all the requirements, that's all been covered. Now, how do you pick a team? So what you need to do is use some resources that I'm going to show you now. So the first thing you want to do is go to Reddit and go to find a unit. and this is probably the best resource you can use to finding a unit. Whether you're a new starter, whether you're someone simple, this really will have everything for you. Very active teams. No one's paying to advertise here, so all the upvotes should be fairly genuine, unless they're from people wanting to promote their own team, in which case they're very active. So just click through here and you can see the requirement. Arma 3 is the name of the game these guys are playing. They are recruiting 1st Marine Division and Milsim. Arma 3, North American, CST, recruiting, and etc. GMT time zones here for Blackwatch International. So just click on these links and have a look, guys. Now, I don't want to talk about dissuading anybody from joining any particular unit, and I'm not putting any unit down, but what seems to be a massive fad at the moment is not having a website for these communities. And for me, it's a big no-no. So I would advise you, if you do see a team that just has a Discord or a link to some kind of Steam group, I would suggest you don't join those guys. The only reason is easy come, easy go. You could invest your time, energy, and resources into something that is disbanded and disappears within a few weeks. The lifetime or cycle of most Arma units is about a year. Once the years pass, people lose interest, internal conflicts, especially if they're casual, they just dissolve and into other units or reinvent themselves. So it depends on whether you want to be part of a startup process, if you want to join a community that's got lesser numbers with an uncertain future, or if you want to be part of something that's more established that you can return to in the future and continue your Arma experience as the years go by. So that's my advice, guys, with regards to searching for a team. You want to make sure they have a website, you want to make sure they have a base, you want to make sure they have a dedicated TeamSpeak, and all of the functions that are there to support the unit. So that's your search and your research done. There are other places to find. You can try out Arma 3 clans. Once again, all of these, I don't know many of these. Tournament of War is a multi-gaming clan. Just stay away from these clangy sites, guys, if you can. Really, the best resources you want to be using, as I mentioned before, Reddit, which is amazing. And secondly, Discord. Now, if you're not familiar with Discord, download it. Just type in Arma 3 units. This is a list of all the current Arma 3 units and what's happening within the Arma sphere. So people are advertising. You can see it gives you all the details, the age limits, the type of sections they are, and this is a great resource. Lots of these guys won't have websites. These guys are obviously well organized. 85th PMC, Milsim unit, semi-casual. They are looking at 30 gigabytes of mods, and you can click here and join their team. And this is a great way to go through. So all of these Discord stuff, I mean, even if they've got 20, 30 people in, it can be reinventive. It's just too skittish for me, guys. It might be okay for you, but yeah, just a bit too skittish to just have a Discord. It's too easy to set up, too easy come, easy go, in my opinion. And a lot of these units, I guarantee you, will not be around in 6 months. So, but have a look, guys. See what you want to find. You know, there's lots of different units here, and you'll have many options, and I'm sure you'll find what's right for you. But that search and that research is very important. If you don't do it, and you don't find the right unit, and you just join the first one, you're just going to be investing time, and it's going to give you a level of uncertainty you're not sure of. So what would I suggest you do next? Well, once you've found the unit you're looking for, what you really want to do, guys, is familiarize yourself with what they are and what they do. So if you come to a website, a very quick way of doing that is just by scrolling down and finding out what the ethos of the community is, or going to, for example, the about pages of the actual site and looking at what they do, what they've got to offer, how long they've been established, whether they've got the functions that you want. And it's a nice way to just establish yourself as, you know, what's going on with this community. Lots of information on sites and on forums. If you've just got a forums and no main website to look at, which is often mostly the case, you just go to things like the code of conduct over here that's on many sites. Have a good read of what's required for you to join, what behaviors are expected, and whether or not this suits your personality. I know for a fact that when I was around 25 years of age, I was very hot-headed, and I just didn't have the maturity levels to tolerate the level of organization that's going on at a community such as RG or other Milsim communities. So just be careful, guys, on what you're looking at and what you're getting yourself into, just so that you're not disappointed and you don't disappoint the community that you're joining. Read your rules, code of conduct, and if you're happy with all of that, you can simply make a account. So on many sites, there'll just be a create account list like this, or some kind of create an account. Click on create an account, and the first thing you want to do is register with that site. So just put in all your details, verify who you are, and submit an application to join the site or forums. Now at this stage, there's really no obligation to get involved with anything. You're just registering on a forum, so you can do this on 4 or 5 sites, especially if you want to get to know more information on what's going on with those units, or whether you want to go through the second stage of joining these communities, which even with the casual communities is the second stage, which is the whole interview process. So let's say you've joined the community, you're now looking, you found the right Arma team you're looking for, you've gone through all your resources on Steam, you've gone through your resources on Discord, you've gone through your Arma server list, you've looked at all the top rankings, you've spent a couple of days, if not a few hours, just gauging what team you want to be part of, you've registered on the forums, and now you need to sign up. So a lot of the time, what people feel is the sign up process is already done because you're registered on the forums. Well, you actually need, in many cases, to go for a secondary stage, which is apply for the group itself. So lots of these communities, which are multi-gaming or Milsim communities, they'll have various levels of application process. They'll have help and FAQ areas where you can click and find out what's going on. So you can find out whether or not you want to be part of the unit, and general questions in terms of what's expected or what's required can be answered there. Lots of communities have all the information available to them on them, and the people that you're joining will be very impressed if you have knowledge base of who you're joining, and it will probably speed up your application process. So coming to the application process, you simply click and sign up to whatever community you want to join. You can't see it here, but I will just sign into my account quickly so I can show you guys what's going on. So Andrew's bump, in we go. If you go to sign up in any community or join, you'll probably be met with a couple of more considerations and then an application form. And once you're registered on any forums like this, you can just simply come down and put in all your information, I'm not a robot, and submit. Now what often happens at that stage in the communities is you might have to wait a couple of hours or a day or so, because that application will go through to one of the members of the community, usually a senior figure. They'll assess the situation and they will contact you either by email or on your account on the forums and invite you to come in for an interview or for a chat. Now TeamSpeak is something you're going to need to get hold of. TeamSpeak is a way of most communities communicating other than Discord, and if you are looking at using TeamSpeak, it's just a great way to communicate with everybody and what's going on. It's also free, and it's just like having a telephone call online. It also allows us to integrate things like Acre and radio bits and bobs on the Milsim end, which give realistic voice comms. So I won't go too much into TeamSpeak. You should know about TeamSpeak, but you hop on TeamSpeak and you're basically going to have a chat with somebody. It could be the recruiter, it could be the leader of the community, it could be somebody that's just on TeamSpeak that's there to chat to, but it'll give you usually a good gauge of what the community's like, how active it is. So pop on there, have a chat with whoever's on. You'll go through a process where you'll be asked a few questions, you'll give a few answers. It's very light. It's just to determine a couple of things: your microphone's working, that you've got the aptitude to join the particular group you're joining, depending on how serious or how casual they are. So there's lots of things that you guys are going to go through at that stage. And don't be intimidated. It's nice to meet people online. It's nice to chat to people over the internet. Most of the time they're very welcoming. If you don't find you're welcomed, or you don't like what you're hearing at the initial stage of that application or interview, just back away lightly, guys, and go and find something else. Go and find something that's right for you. So once again, you'll have that chat, and then once you've been approved, which is usually the outcome of that chat 90% of the time, if you've taken the time to research your group, register on the sites and sign up, you'll be given an opportunity to join the team, at least to demonstrate yourself under a trial period. At RG it's 2 weeks. I know at other communities it's longer or it's less. It could be that it's a straight in kind of situation where you chat to somebody and then you're in the game, and that's amazing. So that's a casual kind of outlook, and a lot of the time you'll be given some kind of element of training. So what's happening with the mod sets and how do you get all that set up, and what happens? So essentially, once again, this all differs from community to community, but depending on what you're doing and how much mods the community is using. During the point of invitation and interview, you'll be taught how to install your mods and how to do that. A lot of communities at the moment use a combination like RG, which is Arma Sync for like a small pack of customized, highly customized content that we use. That would be skins, patches, insignias, and everything that's really unique to RG in the community that we've modded ourselves that's in that pack. And that's usually distributed via Arma Sync or another method which allows you to download files, and in the event that that file's updated, you don't need to download the whole file again. Arma Sync will just find out what's different there and give you the difference. So it's a great program, and on sites like RG and other sites you'll have guides on how to do this, how to join the community. The majority of mods, which are quite heavy set in a lot of Milsim communities, because Arma's been out for so long, a lot of the content has been distributed into different channels. That's into Steam. Once Arma became fully fleshed out with Steam, everybody pretty much uses it as a way to distribute all of the mods. So you'll have a mod list which will be very easy to click and subscribe to by the arrows here, and simply leaving Arma running in the background, it will download all of the required mod content. So by the time you come back to the game, you'll have everything downloaded and you can simply jump into the game and play. Now sometimes it's not that straightforward. You might need a little bit of tweaking in terms of getting into the game. When you're launching Arma, you have to be very specific. We use keys on the servers, which stops people from using different mods. This just protects the integrity and structure of the server, so you might get kicked out because a file is wrong or because you've loaded a mod by mistake. But once you've got your mod list sorted out and your RG Essentials or your Essential Pack from your clan bolted on, you're absolutely fine. You're ready to go. Your Arma's all set, and it will be updated automatically every time you launch it. If any of these actual mods update, it will just push that through. So it's very, very, very straightforward. Most of the time, you don't even realize when things are updating in the background. The community that you're part of will often tell you to update or not on some instances, because sometimes it can break configurations, and then the technical guys that are working for your community will usually run away and tweak a few scripts or add a few keys into the mods to make sure everything works. So that's pretty much everything to do with downloading mods, and you'll be fully informed about the mod process and where to get all the mods from. So it's not that daunting when you join the community. You should just be pointed in the right direction. So you've got your mods, you've got your community, you've met these guys, you've had your interview, you're looking forward to being part of a group and getting stuck in. You've got everything ready to go, and now what do? So the first step would be to join something like a training session. And the reason I say that is because you really don't want to go straight into a mission just with everything vanilla. You're going to need to do some steps of configuration. And if you're part of a good community, even the most casual communities, they should give you some kind of basic orientation. And basic training is very important, especially for individuals with regards to key binding things, because one individual with the wrong key set can wipe out an entire task force or an entire unit or ruin an entire scenario, and you really don't want to be that guy. So you join the training server, you attend the training, and you basically set up all your mods. You set up your key binds. You'll usually come along with a personal trainer, somebody that's part of the recruitment team or somebody that's part of the training team, and they'll just take you on the server. They'll orientate you, they'll tell you all your key binds, they'll get you up to speed so that you're actually proficient when you're a soldier in the unit and not just running around like a headless chicken. So once again, attend your basic training and get it sorted. There are hundreds and hundreds of mods out there, guys, that enhance the realism of Arma. They can seem a little bit daunting. ACE and other medical systems are used by Milsim communities across the board. They have several different keybinds that you need to use, so you really need to get stuck into this in terms of learning what these binds are, how they use, how they apply to you and your actual individual in the game. So yeah, it's a bit of an uphill struggle to learn all of these keys, but it's extremely rewarding, and the rewards you get from downloading these mods and experiencing Arma in this well-organized level is just second to none, really, in my experience. So you're in the game and you're training. You've got your operation coming up on Sunday. You've got all your keybinds done. Your mods are sorted out. It's your first operation, and you want to be a proficient soldier. So what I suggest doing, guys, is going online, just Googling basic infantry, learn things like your 3Ds, That's your distance, direction, description. A lot of this stuff should be taught to you if you're coming from a military background, or if you have been in a military community before, and you can express that to the people that are training you, and how to your skill level, what you're comfortable with, and what you'd like to do. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I kind of sat on the same page just chatting along, but I really just wanted to give you a nice way to find an Arma 3 unit. So get out there, get your research done, join a unit, download your mods, become part of a community, start enjoying Arma in a way that you've never experienced it before, and I wish you all the luck in the future. This is Andrews from Reality Gaming signing off, and please guys, if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Thanks very much. Cheers now.